everyone, today's video is going to be my makeup inventory. So I have done a makeup inventory since 2015. So, you know, I don't remember when in 2015. I want to say it was near the beginning of 2015, though I don't know that. So this might be my 5th year doing it. I don't know. I didn't have the days. I do now. But I try to do these about twice a year so you can know how my makeup is changing. If you don't know, I've been on a no-buy for about 15 months now. So in theory, all of my makeup should be going down. I have received a few things from people, subscribers, a couple of things from some companies, and then from my family. My family doesn't typically buy me a lot of makeup, but I feel like my hair is a little froey right now. I got a perm over Christmas, and it's got to calm down some. And I cut it off, if you've noticed, I'm sure. It was like below the boob, and now we're above the boob. That's the only way she told me she would perm it, because this might shock you. This is not my natural hair color. This pink is not what I was born with. I was born with brown hair, and it's been bleached, and she was like, girl, this is not so good. So anyway, that's not really relevant to today's video. But the last time I did an inventory was the 25th of August in 2019. It was a little late just because I was away for the summer. But today, or I did one on the 11th of January, which isn't today, but close enough. And I counted up all of the makeup I own, and I'm gonna report back to you today about what makeup I own. There you go. So first I have for face primers. In August I had 7, and now I only have 3. So I've used up a bunch. I did a declutter. So some of these things are from decluttering and some of it's from use. So, and I do count every year. I don't like, or every time I do an inventory, I don't have like an inventory going and I change it as I go. I start from scratch every single time. So there's always a possibility that my previous year's inventories have had some issues and that I have, correct, you just moved my whole camera. I'm just kidding, it's fine. Bye. Don't. John's leaving.
Love you.
Love you too. Anyway. So, I start from scratch, and so that could be, some of it could just be that I miscounted one year and this year, so, but I have 3 now, so that's pretty good. For base products, so this is foundations and BB creams, I went from 7 down to 1, and that one is actually one that I had to buy this year. I had a bunch of samples, to be fair. Oh, I should say that. For samples, I do count everything as 1, even if it's like one of those cards that just has like 1 use on it, or one of those like foil packets, everything is just 1. That's easiest for me. I feel like it gives me the most realistic view of my numbers, because I find some people, when you don't do that, I feel like it's a way to kind of trick yourself into thinking you have less than you do. So I try to be as honest with myself as possible, and I count everything as 1. So I did run out completely of foundations this year, and I had to buy a new one. So that was exciting. So I now have 1 foundation. For concealers, I had 5 in August, and now I only have 1. Again, that was one that I had to buy this year. I completely ran out. I know I decluttered 1 because it had gone bad, but I don't think I decluttered any more than that. I'm not sure. Maybe I did. But now I only have 1, and it was a new one that I bought near the end of the year, so I know it's fresh and good. For powders, I had 9 in August, and now I have 8, so I used up 1. For blush, I had, Kanga, what are you doing? She's down at the stairs. I guess she's like, Daddy, take me with you. He's going to the post office. It's not that exciting. For blush, I guess I decluttered some because I didn't use up any. But I had 64, and now I have 59, which is an absurd amount of blush. For bronzer, I had 16, and now I have 13. For highlighters, I had 41, and now I had 36. And a lot of highlighters, let's just be honest, on your cheeks, they look the same. So why do I have that many? I don't know. I just do. For eye primers, I had 4, and now I have 1, and that one is like a glitter primer. I got rid of everything else because I don't really like them. For cream eyeshadows, I had 31, and now I have 33. I don't think I brought any more in, so I guess I miscounted last time. Or some of my eyeliners, I kind of switched from being eyeliners to cream eyeshadow, so that could be it. But I have 33. For glitters and pigments, I had 40, and now I have 37. For single eyeshadows, I had 25, and now I have 23. For gel or liquid eyeliners, I had 13 and now I have 11. For mascaras, I had 21 and now I have 16. For eyeliners, these are like pencil eyeliners, I had 32 and now I have 30. For eyebrow products, so these were eyebrow pencils or eyebrow gels, I had 3 and now I only have 1. And that one is something I bought in the year of 2019. Do you see how this little hair is like sticking up, making its own little life for itself? Can you not? So I know that one's relatively new and it's still fresh and good. That's what I wanted to say. For eye palettes, so this is anything with 5 or more eyeshadows. I had 44 and now I have 37. And for duos, trios, and quads, I had 11 and now I have 7. So then I decided to go through and actually count how many eyeshadows I have in anything from a duo to a palette, because saying you have 37 palettes is fine, but you could have 37 palettes with 500 shadows each or 37 palettes with 5 eyeshadows each. So I just want to know. This is where it gets, I mean, a lot of these numbers are really high. I know I'm just kind of going through them. I'm going to talk about them at the end, but I have 625 eyeshadows in my duos, trios, quads, and palettes. That gives me a total of 648 eyeshadows. I used up 2 eyeshadows last year. That means I have 324 years of eyeshadows. That's absurd. The amount of materials and resources that went into that makeup and that I've wasted makes me angry at myself and a little disgusted. Anyway, for lip treatment, so these are like chapsticks and things, I had 8 and now I have 5. I used 3 at once. I used 1 in my bathroom, 1 in my purse, and 1 in my makeup vanity. And then I got a couple from my dad for Christmas. For lip liners, I had 11 and I still have 11. And for lip products, so what I decided to do was I combined all of my colored lip products. So lip glosses, liquid lipsticks, plain lipsticks, all of that, because I felt like I was trying to divide these lines, and sometimes they would be one, sometimes they'd be the other. I just felt like it was unnecessary, because like today I'm just wearing a lip gloss. You know, I don't like inflating my numbers, because then it's a way to be like, oh, well, I only have 7 cheek palettes. That's not terrible. And 4 cream blushes and 8 powder blushes. But if you look at all the blushes, you have 40. You know, I just feel like it's more realistic for me. Again, you do you. But for lip products that are colored, I have 212. Last time I had 225. I am so bad at using up lip products, so I know that those 212 lip products will last me 5,000 years, which is absurd. All right, for nail polishes, and this does include like base and top coats, I had 104 and now I have 96. For setting sprays, I had 1 and I still have 1. I actually used, it's a new one. I used up the one I had and I bought a new one, so that's okay. You know, having 1 setting spray, some things, I'll get into it, but having 1 setting spray I'm good with. For body sprays, I had 1 and I still have 1. It's the same one. I don't need body sprays. I need to get rid of them, but I still have 1. For perfumes, and so most of these are those little bitty samples, but again, I count them all. I had 50, now I have 45. For number of items with pan, so this is just how many items I have that have some kind of pan on them. I had 35 and I still have 35. If you follow a lot of my project panning series, you know that my goal is usually to use something up, not just to hit pan on them. So it's probably not the same 35. I know it's not, because I know I've hit pan on some items. So I'm comfortable. I don't have like a goal for that. Like I want to have so many. Because I don't want to have a bunch of items with pan. I want to have items with pan that are then used up. And then for my overall makeup inventory numbers, so I have an inventory that has every single item I own. I didn't add all these up. I probably could have done that, but instead I'm using my inventory because that's what I do for like weekly product pan stuff, where I have every single item I own on a list by pan. So if it's an eyeshadow with 30 eyeshadows, there were 30 line items. And for that, I had 1,406, and now I have 1,262. So that's gone down significantly. some of these numbers just are ridiculous. I can admit that. I don't necessarily want to have this like super curated collection. I keep up with this for a few reasons. I'm a grad student, if you don't know, and grad students don't make a lot of money. And I have in the past spent any extra money I had on makeup, and that was not a good decision because now I have amassed this lovely arsenal of all these makeup products that I do like, but I also have amassed this amount of debt that makes me almost paralyzed with fear. So that's not a good thing. I don't like having all of this debt. And it's not all makeup. Most of my debt is because of student loans. I went out of state for undergrad. And your loans are always accruing interest. I don't have to pay them back right now because I'm still in school. I have my bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree, and I'm getting a PhD. So I know that that's the best decision for me. You can argue with me about that, and that's fine. You know, everyone has their own opinion. I'm not saying everyone should go to grad school. For me, it's the best decision. But I have this amount of debt that does scare me. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. But so that's my main goal with keeping track of this and being on this no-buy. I don't need more. And with that being said, I don't know if y'all watch Hannah Louise Poston. So she did like a no-buy year, and she talked a lot about not buying anything, and then she had a beauty budget, and now she wants to have less stuff. And in doing that, she has inventoried her makeup, but also a lot of different aspects of her life. So she inventoried her clothes and her skincare, her body care. I've seen people do skincare and body care before. I've never seen anybody do clothes before her. And I was wondering if y'all be interested in that, because I think it'd be interesting. Because again, my main goal, it's two ways. So to say I'm an environmentalist sounds douchey. And a lot of people that hold that candle, I would not agree with, I think. I'm a scientist. I have done research on the environment, the impacts of human production on the environment. And it's something that I'm really passionate about. It's literally the thing I've dedicated my life to. So part of it is I don't want to be this consumer of all of these goods that I'm not using and I don't need, and that's terrible for the environment. And part of it is I don't want to spend money. And if you don't know, I'm gonna make a video about it. I just haven't. John and I did get engaged. There's my ring. We got engaged in November, and we do have a wedding date. We're gonna get married December 27th of 2020. I'm so excited. And we really wanna go on a honeymoon. And I'd really like to go a 4-day trip to Disney. That's the plan. I have priced it out, and it's a lot. And, you know, we've been talking about how can we make this happen. And a big way we're going to try to make this happen is just by eliminating our spending on anything that's not a necessity. And I'm not good at that, you know, and it's on everything. Like y'all can see by these numbers, I have a lot of makeup, but I know I have a lot of clothes and housewares. I love a cute house. I like to have things around me that I love that make me happy. And that's not I guess it kind of is a bad thing, and it is in and of itself materialistic. I think by definition it's materialistic. I can admit that. But I don't need any more. And I know that more than having a new piece of artwork, I would rather go on this honeymoon. So I really want to be super strict with myself and only buying things I need. And we've done it even at like the grocery store, because we're terrible about spending way more money than we need to at the grocery store. So this last time we were really good. We got a lot of food for under $100, which I guess depending on your budget, that might sound absurd. It might sound pretty good. I don't know. But we were really excited by it, and we're happy with the food we got, because Giorgio and I are kind of foodies. But we're happy with what we got. So I say all of this to want to know, are you interested in seeing me do some of these inventories? And again, it's not necessarily to have less stuff. I'm not trying to get rid of the things I own or to declutter things or anything like that necessarily, but I need this. I think it would be helpful for me as a reminder, because I'm very bad about like going to the store and being like, I don't really have that many sweaters, and I live in Ohio and it's cold, so maybe I need to buy some more sweaters. I'm terrible about that. Or like, oh my gosh, this lamp is so cute. Don't we need a lamp? You know, and like I said, it's about everything. My household has a lot of stuff. You know, some things I'm okay with spending money on. So like I am a scientist, as I've said. I do research, and I like to have books to read. Well, luckily my family, my dad especially, I gave him a list of like 25 books for Christmas, and he bought me quite a few. So I have this nice arsenal of books I haven't read. But like if I run out of books I haven't read, I might buy a book here and there and stuff like that. So I'm not saying I'm not going to buy anything, but I just want to diminish it down to as small as we can, so we can, number one, afford this honeymoon that I'm just not positive we can afford to go on. And number two, when we go on it, have money. Because if we go and it's like, all right, we have enough money that we can, I mean, we want to get the meal plan, but let's just say, for example, like we can go, but we can only have water and one meal a day. Well, to me and to John too, like that's not really going. That's just being there, but you don't get to really experience it. So we want to have some, like, you know, extra money to spend and to experience it. And I think, I'm hoping I'm going to be getting the summer job. That's a big chunk of money relative to, I mean, for us, it's a big chunk of money. Where I'll be teaching up some, for the summers, teaching a biology or an ecology class, really. And I do make a little bit of money on YouTube, not a ton. I don't think it's very much. But I'm really grateful for that, and I'm obviously going to keep that going. I don't do YouTube as a job. I don't do YouTube to get the money, but I do make money on YouTube. I think last year I made like $300-ish in 2019, maybe $4, but I think $3. So, you know, I make a couple $100, and that's definitely helpful towards a honeymoon. And just being really, really frugal. We did a lot. Last year, we moved from Georgia to Ohio. So we had to buy things. Like, we didn't have winter coats. We didn't have very much winter clothes. We need to buy stuff for the house. This couch that you see in my background, that was new. We bought that last year. So we did purchase a lot of things for the house, but I go up north for 3 months to do research. And I had to buy a bunch of stuff for that, like new bedding. I don't have any twin size bedding. We bought like a big box fan because there's no insulation. We bought, actually for Christmas this year, I'm really excited. I got a heated blanket because, again, there's no insulation. And if you're in northern Michigan in May, at night it's below freezing. And you're in like legitimately a tin shack. So, you know, but I say that to say that this past, in 2018 and 2019, we had to build up a lot of our stock of things. And I feel like we're good. And I know I'm terrible at being like, but we need this. Or, oh, we don't have this. Or we'll buy it once and we won't have to buy it again. But I just want to be so much better. And makeup is a big part of that. I know I don't need makeup for almost any of these things. You know, like a new foundation, I'll probably have to buy 1 or 2 this year because I don't have any. You know, so like some things I'm sure I'll have to purchase, but most things I don't. And doing this inventory really helps me with that. And so I'm intrigued to see how it would help me with other things. And again, it's not to have less necessarily, though I could probably easily have a lot less, but it's just to help me realize how much I have and also really appreciate what I have. Because I know this sounds bad. It is bad. It doesn't just sound bad. It is bad. I'm terrible about being like, oh my gosh, I love this new sweater. I need this sweater. And then forgetting about it. Or like wearing it occasionally, but not loving it and cherishing it. And then, you know, next time at the store, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this new sweater. Why don't I go ahead and just get it? It's like $20. What a steal. Well, then you have bought like 7 sweaters in a year and you've spent like $200 on them and you don't love or really care about them. And so I'm hoping doing an inventory will make me more appreciative of what I have and will make me realize how much I have and be better about not spending. Because if I spend the way I have, I won't be able to go on a honeymoon. We just won't. And there's a lot more to it. Like I said, I do have a lot of debt and stuff like that I'd like to, I know we can't pay it all off. I'm still a grad student and that's just not like a realistic goal, but to at least start mounting that debt mountain. You know, I think if we're really frugal throughout the year, we can afford a honeymoon and we can make some way on this debt, and that would be great. So I feel like I just like threw up all over you at the end of that video. Hopefully it was helpful, and let me know if you were interested in seeing some of these other inventories because I think I'm gonna do them. And if you're interested, that would make me more likely to post it. So I'd be thinking on like a clothing inventory like Hannah did. So she did her clothes and her accessories and stuff. Probably a skincare and body care. I feel like I don't have that much, but maybe that's wrong. So maybe doing that, and then in some way quantifying the amount of household items I have would be good. Because again, I love to buy little household things, you know, like, oh, look at this cute little tea set. Well, let me just, you know, get it. Because I love having a really cute house. Before we moved here, I lived in Savannah, and I loved living in Savannah. But the place I lived was not very nice. It wasn't very safe. There were a lot of issues with it, and I didn't feel good about myself and my home. And now we live in this beautiful apartment that I'm obsessed with. And, you know, we take really good care of it, and I'm happy and proud of that. But I always am like, well, look at this little bitty thing, and I can just furnish this house. And I feel like it's a big part of like us building our life together. It's the first apartment we've had together. But again, it's just more spending and more spending and more spending. And I just want to cut back and be better in all aspects of my life, because I want a honeymoon and I want less debt. And I would love for when I graduate, we've talked about being able to go on a big trip when I graduate with my PhD, depending on what my job is. Because we are planning on moving. John works at a bank, so he has a job where it's really easy for him to move. And I'll be graduating with my PhD in 2.5 years, May of 2022. And we'd love to go on a trip then too. So the main priority is saving for this honeymoon. But the better place we can be in, the more likely it is we'll be able to go on another trip then. Because vacations are awesome. And for us, and the way we finance, or we budget and we think about our finances, that is a priority for us. We want to be able to, like, it's better to live frugally for a while and then have this lovely, I would consider luxurious vacation, than to just kind of live medium for a while and not get to go on vacation. We both love vacation. We think it's meaningful for memories and just for a lot of reasons. So that's our opinion on it. But anyway,